Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. My hotep. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Y'all know what it is. My name is Vicky Dillard, and I'm pleased to be a contributor here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated people just like you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our broadcast today. Some of you actually call us the Black Prime Time. Of course, we're on early today, and we are so pleased that you are with us today. As you come in, beloved, we do ask that you come in giving us a big thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. I see y'all in the chat. I ain't playing with y'all today. Y'all play too much. Y'all just come over here just to mess with my head. Talk black to me. And I love it. I love it. Somebody talk black to me. Honey, look, let me tell you something. I believe I'm focusing on the good. It's too many funny looking haters out there, y'all, to be focusing on the madness. So when somebody has something nice to say, baby, I just milk it. Talk black to me. I love to milk those kind of compliments. Y'all know how we used to fake the fun and act like we don't care. Child, the devil is a lie. I love it. And I love y'all. Your sister with the curly braids. Thank you all so much for tuning in to an early edition of the Vicky Show. Family, it's going to be brief. But I want my sisters to know you can go to my website today, onpurposewithvicky.com, onpurposewithvicky.com. Sisters, I got you. Of course, backed by popular demand, my wildly successful webinar series that I created some time back called The Secret Money in Your Womb. Yes, The Secret Money in Your Womb, part 4, ladies. Yes, beloved, part 4. Honey, just to be clear, y'all know I like to pack out the house with brothers and sisters, but brothers, this is just for the ladies. Shh. Somebody say shh. Somebody say shh. This is just for the ladies. And I must tell you, beloved, while everybody comes in, please keep hitting that thumbs up button. I'm going to try to let my Instagram family know if it'll let me go live. I'm going to try to let my Instagram family know that I'm here live and direct on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, family. So that's what I'm doing right now when I'm holding this device in my hand and messing with my phone. That's exactly what I'm doing. So family, on the count of 3, for those of you that haven't, on the count of 3, for those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button. Hey, Instagram family, I just came here for a brief moment to invite you to come on over to FlyNubianQueenTV.com for a brief war briefing on our Black Primetime show, The Vicky Show. You can access us at FlyNubianQueenTV.com, or you can go straight to YouTube and just punch in Fly Nubian Queen, and you can see me live and direct for a few moments. So Instagram, I want you to get ready to come on over now to FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Thank you so very much. Now, family, let's get right on into today's topic. Let me say this really quick, because I was just saying to my sisters that backed by popular demand, The Secret Money in Your Womb, part 4, for grown women only. Now, brothers, even though this is an intimate group for just women, like I said, you're going to thank me later, brother. So make sure that you put your coins together, brother, and bless your fiance, bless your wife, bless the lovely lady in your life. I can promise you in about 90 days, y'all going to be sending me DMs and putting all kind of comments saying, thank you, Vicky. So I want you all to make sure that you invest in your woman gladly. Somebody talk black to me, because what this is about, when I'm talking about the secret money in your womb, we have been led to believe that you just have to, quote unquote, sisters, work hard in order to generate resources for your particular purpose. Now, let me tell you something. Me being someone that was diagnosed with a serious autoimmune illness related to one of my major organs, I was not even able to stay on the job for 4 hours at a time. It was my medical team that said, hey, you're not going to be able to do this. and I had to figure something else out because my body physically wouldn't do what I wanted it to do. So, what do you say to someone when you say you go out there and you work hard when I'm someone who's worked hard ever since I could? You have to understand that you have magic. God today, somebody put in the chat, Black girl magic. Somebody put in the chat, Black girl magic. And so this is for sisters only because we're going to be tapping into um our divine feminine energy. Yes, honey. There's more than one way to generate resources. We as women are not only able to make human beings, which is the highest form of life. Why am I dropping all these jewels so early? I see your Instagram and all of your gifts are blessed a thousandfold. We as women are able to bring forth life. Nobody comes into the earth realm except they come through us, baby. And human beings are the highest form of life. So if we're able to generate human beings, what else can we bring into existence? You were led to believe that it's only just one way to do something. And I'm going to break down again and take us further. And I'm going to share with you specific examples and manifestation that I've gotten over my life over the past year when I was given devastating news about how I would be able to live and how resources would come into my life. You've got to understand that when I'm teaching about resources, I'm teaching from a holistic perspective. I believe in the power of pleasure, beloved. Yummy. Somebody said, living. And I'm talking about money being a spirit and not just coming through one form, one resource. See, the universe, the most high, the creator is the ultimate source. But there are multiple forms of resources that brings about sustenance into your life. And there's a better way of doing something. So I want to make sure that you are there. The date is March 13th, Sunday, March 13th, Sunday, March 13th. Sisters, get your seat now. It's worth the investment. You can go to my store, hit the webinar purchase at onpurposewithvicky.com. That's onpurposewithvicky.com. Make sure that you bring your sisters, your sister-in-law. Honey, this you may not want to bring your little 8-year-olds to this one. Make sure they about 16 and up. Talk black to me. And like I said, brothers, this is an opportunity for you to get involved and to sponsor that lovely lady in your life. And I can promise you, brothers, you will thank me later. This is about yummy living because when the woman is elevated, she's able to amplify who and what you are. God, today, while y'all playing, are y'all hearing me? See, brothers, when you're on your stuff, when you are a man of vision and a man of execution, see, that's what a high value man is. A high value man is one that has vision. And he knows how to execute, not run his mouth, not talk about potential. And so when that woman adds her divine feminine energy, baby, when she enters into your force field, or shall I say, when you enter into hers, stuff just begins to multiply. Somebody talk black to me. Somebody say black girl magic. Sisters, just shh. And sis, there's going to be a certain little dress code. This is what we're doing in secret. So you don't want to miss this. Instagram, please come on over now to flynewbeingqueentv.com because I need to use this device as we speak. And I want to get going on today's topic right away. For those of you that gave badges, I thank you so much on Instagram. I can't wait to see you. All right, family. Let me post this really quick. And everybody else, please hit that thumbs up button and share, share, share. Share, 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 share. Are you ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Share, share, share. Share, 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 share. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. All right. Now let me get ready to cue this I'm going to pull up a couple of articles just now. All right, family. All right. Now, you all know that when you're dealing with a system of white supremacy, when you work dealing with a system of white supremacy takes both sides. I said, when you're dealing in a system of white supremacy, please know and understand that white supremacy takes both sides of the war. Now, some of you all may say, well, so and so says they're Republican. So and so says that they're Democrat. Let me tell you something. That is just a facade. Somebody say that's a facade. Somebody say that's a front. Are y'all hearing me today? That's just a front. They want to give you the impression that there is a side that's counter, that there are opposing sides, that there's actually disagreement. See, they're able to operate better when they're able to create deceit. And they know that if they give you, you may say, well, why would they give me that impression? What good would that do to me if they're lying about it? Because if you are given the impression that someone is countering white supremacy and there is a side that you can actually join, then they know that you are not going to actually do anything substantive or revolutionary to upend the system, because they're giving you the impression that something out there already exists to counter it. Somebody talk back to me. Did you all catch that? Did that make sense? Did that make sense, family? Now, there are rumors. Somebody say rumors. There are allegations that's running rampant right now from the streets. Somebody say allegedly. There are rumors now out there about whether or not Fox News is working to help Joyless Reid. What y'all know about Joyless? You all do know that there are two personalities involved with that lady named Joy Reid. Somebody talk black to me. Don't make me do it. Y'all, after I shared the image of Joy Reid and Joyless Reid, somebody, one of my supporters out there, to turn around and use that picture for their social media icon. Y'all crazy. Y'all are the one that's cray. Stop laughing, Jackson. This is serious business. My minds can't be out there giggling and stop. This is serious business. Talk black to me. So you all know that there's a difference between Joy Reid and Joyless. Somebody say there's a difference. Somebody say there's a difference. Now, you all know you rarely hear me talk about a woman's looks, because it's just different when you talk about a woman's looks. But when a woman shows herself to be an enemy to black people, let me tell you something. When a man shows himself to be an enemy to black people, you get treated like an enemy. Talk black to me. You don't get to talk about, well, so and so, I'm a woman, don't disrespect the woman. Look, y'all know I love the sisters. I love I love my sisters and I love my brothers. But when you show yourself to be an enemy to black people, you don't get to start using standards of brotherly love, sisterly love, talking about that's your sister. You better go sit your funny looking self down somewhere. I'm going to treat you like the enemy you are. I'm not going to confuse my people by using fluffy language with you when you're sitting there undermining everything that we're doing and making behind the scenes deals like Rolanda Martina, also known as Roland Martin, also known as hashtag URO. For those of you that are unfamiliar with what UROs are, you know there are different types of species of beings. You have your terrestrials, that's us that's living on Earth. Then you have your extraterrestrials. Somebody talk black to me, that's above the Earth. Then you have your subterrestrials, UROs, also known as unidentified rolling objects. Somebody put some basketballs in the chat. Y'all know I'm a teacher, so I teach in different ways. We got to have visuals. Sometimes I bam the gavel at other times. Sometimes I get professorial with you. And other times y'all, we over here laughing, talk black to me. So the UROs are unidentified rolling objects that emerge from underground. God today. And they roll about our planet. Somebody say roll. Stop laughing, Ugly Incorporated. That's your name on the thing. This is serious business. Stop laughing, Ugly Inc. That's your name on the. I don't know why you call yourself ugly, babe. I bet you're gorgeous. I don't even like saying that, even though that's your hashtag. It makes me uncomfortable even saying your hashtag. I'm sure you're beautiful. So the UROs, the unidentified rolling objects, they emerge from underground. They emerge from underground, and white supremacist terrestrials utilize these entities that come from underneath the earth. Talk black to me. And they give them a certain uniform. Are y'all hearing me today? They train them. They feed them biscuits. They feed them bones, you see. See, they don't eat regular human foods and stuff like that. Talk black to me. And they shape them. They train them to look like human beings. And they utilize them. They weaponize the subterrestrials on earth to lead black folks astray. Talk black to me. God today. That's what the URO's about, you see. And so the white supremacists do everything that they can to keep the URO out of serious engagement, serious events and circumstances and situations so that their cover won't be revealed. So they give them little jobs over in the corner somewhere, and they make sure that they never bring on a truly revolutionary black person so that they're not challenged in any substantive way. You understand where I'm coming from? So they utilize, like a robot, you feel what I'm saying? They utilize those entities for their own purposes to advance their white supremacist agenda. Somebody talk black to me. Now watch this. Joyless Reid, and y'all see that the notifications haven't gone out. So everybody continue to hit that thumbs up button. Somebody was complaining about the thing. They may have put out the notification, but continue to hit that thumbs up button, share. You all already know I always say at the right time, the right people will hear your sister with the curly braids. But we thank you all so much for hitting that thumbs up button, share. Now, family, watch this. You all are probably wondering, okay, so why did I label today's broadcast is Fox News actively assisting or helping Joy Reid to keep her job? Now, for those of you that don't know, a source came out sometime back alleging that Joy Reid is supposed to be losing her job come sometime in spring, right? Now, I'll read you a little excerpt from one of the pieces here where it says from the Post Millennial that says, breaking Joy Reid to lose MSNBC show in the spring, says a source. If for those of you that followed my show, I was breaking some of the news. I gave you the receipts of the individual that put that out, as well as other breaking news that that individual gave in times past where they were accurate when they talked about inside information they had about Chris Cuomo, for example, and how the news was accurate. I also gave you all the bio of the individual that gave that information as well. But let me tell you something. I also explained to you that sometimes networks like MSNBC, even though they seem like that they are the more upstanding network, especially when it compares to Fox News, that's just a fake. That's just a front. Are y'all hearing me today? Sometimes, as I told you when I did the show, I started the show by telling you sometimes they intentionally seed misinformation so that it would look like folks were lying on them, to make it look like they create warfare. That's a tactic for some of you all that don't know. People understand that sometimes, even when it makes them look bad, Joy Reid might look bad for a minute, MSNBC may look bad for a minute, but sometimes they intentionally generate stories because their ratings continue to fail. Nobody's paying any attention to them. And like some of the studies have shown, folk like us are creating greater audiences and we have greater credibility online than major conglomerate networks such as MSNBC News has. So y'all hearing me today? Somebody said they screaming for me in San Francisco. Thank you, Deborah. Chastity says, speak, queen. I'm doing my best. So I explained that before, but I do believe that there was some veracity or accuracy to the allegation that she may lose her show. But let me tell you what we believe is going on based on a little birdie. Somebody say it's a little birdie. That's why I'm careful to say allegedly. Somebody say allegedly. See, we're responsible over here on the Vicky Show. But based on a little birdie, I do believe that there was some level of accuracy that Joy Reid was supposed to lose her show. And I believe that they were utilizing that leak to see just how strong her followers or her supporters would come out in support of her. Are y'all hearing me today? Tell them fan page, allegedly. So, because of that leak, I believe that Joy Reid and certain folks in media beyond the MSNBC networks, it's in their interest that Joy Reid does not lose her show. Aminakra says your veracity is impeccable. Thank you, beloved. Now, some of you all may say, well, what do you mean? Again, we're talking about allegedly here. I want you all to pay attention to the moves of these different networks that are supposed to be opposites. But I'm showing you this principle because I want us to begin to operate this way, Black family. I want you guys to know that while every time you watch Joy Reid's show, she's talking about Tucker Carlson, she's saying something crazy about Fox News. Fox News is always saying something crazy about CNN or MSNBC or somebody they say liberals and all this. Family, this is a front. These folks are out there just talking crazy to give you the impression that there are opposing forces, but at the end of the day, they're on the same team. Somebody say, prove it, Vicky. Somebody say, prove it, Vicky. Y'all got to put the pressure on me. Somebody say, prove it, Vicky. Copyright Act of 1976 allowances made for purposes such as fair use, criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. You all know that the Republicans are known as the overt or obvious anti-Black political faction, right? The Republicans don't hide their hate and their disdain for Black people, right? They're open with their hate. Whereas the Democrats are more sinister. They smile. They come to your churches and mosques and places of worship. They come to your fish fries and stuff. They come to your cookouts. You let them enter your sacred spaces, and some of you all actually let them put on choir robes and come into your choir and dance all offbeat, go in a totally different direction than the rest of the choir. Talk black to me, somebody. And for some of you, that's enough. Negroes are okay and satisfied as long as there's some superficial semblance and gesture. As long as you get an addy boy. God today. Where my gavel at? Y'all know this is the home of the hand claps and the gavel raps. That's enough for some of you. Some of you think it's a bit too much to demand something substantive like cut the check, like reparations, like a Black Marshall Plan, like holding white supremacists accountable, or some specific economic plan that benefits Black people. I didn't say easy access to loans. What I look like wanting a loan, fool? I didn't loan you my labor. God today. When we built this country and created this thing called America, you set Black bodies on fire. You put Black bodies on trees. You dismembered Black bodies. You crushed the skulls of unborn Black babies' heads. You weaponized the science against us. You weaponized the medical industry against us. You weaponized the air against us. You weaponized our music. You weaponized Wall Street, though we created Wall Street. When we finally fled from your funny looking self and created our own towns and cities just a few years after chattel slavery, you came and wanted integration because it benefited you more. We were doing our own things. We were living our best life without you. God dang. That's why a lot of our people who are intelligent are saying, you know what? We got to get away from these demons and stuff. Some of you all are talking about so-called Black on Black crime, and y'all talking about all of the health disparities with Black folks, educational disparities. You're talking about redlining, gerrymandering, and all of these things that we're experiencing when these are simply symptoms of a root. What's the root? How many of you all know that when you get to the root of the problem by separating yourself from your open enemy, how many of you all know that when you get to the root of a sickness, the symptoms go away? So it seems to be asinine for us to be putting out all of these different fires and issues that Black people have with our open enemy, when at the end of the day, we simply need to do what? Operate as a nation within a nation. But because some of you have a sick, twisted love from your open enemy, and though mystery Babylon that is these United States of America, because it's falling, you just got your degree. They just gave you a card and a corner desk. So you're not interested in the fall of a nation and a government that's destroyed Black families and Black bodies most intensely for almost 500 years. You try to level up in a system that the Most High is ready to deal with. Now, when I told you to say, prove it, Vicky, give us a recent example again, Vicky, of how the Democrats, at the end of the day, have the same agenda as the Republicans. I'm never going to let you all forget this clip. And the main reason I'm not going to let you forget the clip is because Joyless Reid and them won't play this. Joyless Reid doesn't play Joe Biden saying this about a year ago after Black Democrats ensured that he was going to win the presidency. Rolanda Martina, they don't play this clip. Reverend Al Sharpton doesn't play this clip. Don Lemonade doesn't play this clip. What clip, Vicky? The clip that just about a year ago, while he was waiting to take the oath of office, said this.
Country is doomed.
I'm going to keep playing
This
it.
country is doomed. This country is doomed. This country is doomed.
Why is the country doomed, Joe Biden?
This country is doomed. It is doomed not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. This country is doomed. It is doomed not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. This country is doomed. It is doomed not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white.
Wait a minute. I thought that's something that the Republicans would say. I thought y'all said this was something that just the white supremacist, racist Republicans would push. Heck yeah, the white supremacist Republicans push this agenda. That's the reason why they're holding on to levels of power, because they know that their numbers are dwindling, as the latest census just proved. White numbers are declining even faster than what some of them believe that it would. But it's not just the Republicans that are concerned about white minority numbers. Who said this again? What party said this? What party member said this, family? Put it in the chat.
This country is doomed. This country is doomed. It is doomed not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white.
Now you got to ask yourself, that is major news. That's so serious. And I'm going to continue to play it. Why are you going to continue to play that, Vicky? Because Joyless isn't using her platform to talk about it. She's covering for Joe Biden. Somebody say Joyless. Somebody say Joyless. See, Joyless refuses to expose her zaddy. With that serious of a statement, why is it that Breakfast Club isn't starting every one of their shows with that clip? Why is it that Don Lemon has not brought on the White House to address those racist statements? That's how you know it's a cover-up. Somebody say the Democratic cover-up. Somebody say the Democratic cover-up. Ooh. Jackson said, come on for joy. Joyless. Kind today. Did y'all hear what I said? If Joy was not pushing a certain agenda, if the Reverend Al Sharpton, who needs to go eat, wasn't pushing a Democratic agenda, if the black faces on the white conglomerate networks were not pushing a D1 agenda, wouldn't they play that? Wouldn't they be questioning the White House? But they're not. Wouldn't your street politician activists, y'all know Black Lives Matter and them in trouble right now, and stuff. If they didn't have an agenda, they would be discussing that. And they're not. Tell them, sis, and stuff. Joyless. When you're joyless, you know Joyless is about the biscuits. Anybody that come off like this, you're eating a biscuit to survive. Only the eating of biscuits would make you turn out like this. God, today. And as I continue to say, for enemies of Black people, stop looking at me like this, Joyless. Stop looking at me like that. I said, Joyless, stop looking at me like that. Talk back to me. Now, why are we talking about, why is there rumors out there that Joy Reid, Fox News, and others are actually actively, allegedly, possibly helping her keep her job? Y'all play too much. Y'all, this is serious business. Stop laughing. There's a difference between joy and joyless. God, today. Only a bone and a biscuit make you come out looking like that today. God, today. And stop. So you all know what appears to be a credible allegation of Joy Reid possibly losing her 5-day-a-week job come sometime spring. It's believed now that she's doing everything she can to prevent that alleged plan from coming to pass. Watch this. Joy Reid has been making the rounds of which you never see her make. How many of you all know that Joy Reid a few days ago was on The Late Show
tonight is a political analyst for MSNBC
with Stephen Colbert? I briefly discussed this. Let me pull the clip up. Watch this. Joyless. Well, actually, she looks more like Joy. I like that outfit. I'm a girl. I gotta talk black. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. She's going to be asked a question. Listen.
Complain about the press, President.
And, I'm sure he'd like Joe Biden, because there is a whole in the media quote, talk about how nothing has happened in his first year.
Yeah.
And
Wait a minute, listen.
Joy Reid.
Joyless.
At his marathon press conference last week, President Biden said, quote, members of the media, quote, talk about how nothing has happened in his first year.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is we got an awful lot done. Is that a...
That's true. Joe Biden told the truth when he said he got an awful lot done in the first year. I know y'all like Vicky's. Really? It's true. That statement that Joe Biden made, that he got a lot done in his first year, he's telling the truth, family.
Quote, members of the media, quote, talk about how nothing has happened in his first year.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is we got an awful lot done.
For everybody else. God, today. Someone to say for everybody else. The Biden-Harris administration, they were busy giving the LGBTQ communities executive favors, policy favors. They got a lot done for white Afghans. They got a lot done for illegal immigrants who violated federal law to get over here. And some of them actually got benefits. And New York, with their funny looking self, actually are letting illegal immigrants vote. While my sister, who I was in the federal belly of the beast with, Crystal Mason, who was entrapped by white Republicans into voting a provisional vote that didn't even count. She was out of prison and didn't even realize what was going on. They gave her 5 years. And because she was still on paper from the feds, they considered that to be an automatic violation. So they sent her back to prison for another, I think, 10 or 11 months or so. And on the state level, because that's a state issue, they gave her 5 years and she's still appealing it. But they're letting illegal immigrants in New York, in liberal New York, they're letting illegal immigrants over there vote. Yes, it's true that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and them real busy the first year for everybody else.
fair complaint by Joe Biden, because there is a whole lot of talk in the media, no offense, also at MSNBC,
Yeah.
about the agenda stalling.
Mhm.
And, I'm sure he'd like to get everything done, or his base would like to get everything done. What do you make of his first year, and is he right to complain about the description?
I think, all presidents complain about the press. President Obama didn't like the press. No one really likes the press when you work in politics, because you're never going to get the coverage you want. But I think in one sense, Biden has a point. I think that the media, I like to say that, the media does have two biases, right? Change and conflict, right? So if we see change, we run toward that. And that's interesting.
Just change is a new thing to talk about.
Change is new. President Obama, that was an exciting sort of change in America's culture and politics. The media will gravitate toward change and conflict. But the media doesn't want to be in conflict necessarily with a president, but the idea of almost like a sports-like conflict between the parties is kind of where the media tends to go. That's not necessarily healthy when we're dealing with like the decline of democracy, which is actually not a sporting event, and we should probably take that seriously. And there are two sides, and there is one right side to being for or against democracy, and I think the media has failed there. But I think also, complicated things like inflation and economics, it's just easier to cover it like a sporting event. The Republicans say this.
Did you all hear her defend Joe Biden? Did you all hear her say that Joe Biden has a point? If you all think for 1 second she was not aware of the question that she was going to be asked before she got there, you are out of your mind. They intentionally brought joyless Reid, who never goes on night shows. They are bringing her there to keep her before the public and to hit up a new audience. They're keeping a very, very deeply melanin face. Yes, a prominent League of Mammy members, LOM, before the public in hopes that she could hit up and make some inroads with the Black night audience there. And they're still trying to make it look like Black folks are on the cutting edge and Black folks got power, which she's powerless. That was intentional. She's also making the rounds in ways that she normally doesn't, because it's alleged, somebody say allegedly, that she's doing all of this stuff to keep the pressure on MSNBC from firing her. For real, for real. So these are tricks to keep her before the public and to keep her relevant, though she's not. God dang, do you understand? Somebody said, wow, good catch,
Democracy
Queen.
Now!
Okay, I don't know why Democracy Now! Popped up. I wasn't talking to Democracy Now! I was playing her and Stephen Colbert talking. Watch this. But that's not all. What else did happen recently? How many of you all saw this recent headline with Joy Reid? Washington Post, which is not, I repeat, Washington Post, which is not a liberal or Democratic news organ, just did this piece on Joy. Let's read. Y'all see this? That came out just this month on Washington Post, y'all, in Washington Post. And it says MSNBC's Joy Reid on the fragile stage of our democracy, quote, we're already in decline. Family, she is hitting up all types of media outlets in order to remain relevant and to keep the pressure on her network from wanting to get rid of her. Even if it's a media outlet that tends to lean conservative. But that's not all. Why else are there credible rumors that other networks, including right-wing networks and news outlets, wanting Joy to keep her job? Y'all ready for this? I hinted at this at one time before in one of my other previous shows, but I got to bring this back to your remembrance. I said, I've got to bring this back to your remembrance. What does this headline say, family? When Joy got in trouble just last year. Let me turn it this way. What does this headline say, family? I don't want y'all thinking I'm making that up. What does that headline say? Everybody keep hitting that thumbs up button, share, share, share. What does that headline say, family? Lillian Parker said, wow, yes. This is from The Hill. I don't want y'all thinking I'm making this up. It says, Hannity, that's Sean Hannity from Fox News. That's Sean Hannity from Fox News. Hannity tells Santorum, that's Rick Santorum, he helped prevent Joy Reid from being fired. I love you back, Queens kids. Y'all got to be up on game. Some of you all actually out there thinking that there is a difference between Fox News substantively and MSNBC and CNN. Some of you don't get it yet. Listen. Fox News host Sean Hannity, during the Monday interview with Rick Santorum, who was just fired by CNN, Rick Santorum was fired from CNN, said an NBC executive thanked him for defending MSNBC's Joy Reid and helping her keep her job. I'm going to say that again. He said that an NBC executive thanked him for defending MSNBC's Joy Reid and helping her keep her job. Quote, when Joy Reid was in trouble, I was called by an NBC executive who said your public comments played a big role in us being able to keep her, meaning her job, Hannity said. She wrote me a nice note. For those of you that don't understand the context, in 2018, MSNBC anchor Reid was facing criticism for past offensive blog posts. In her blog, Reid shared a Photoshop image of Senator John McCain that depicted him as a shooter in a 2007 Virginia Tech mass shooting and some other miscellaneous stuff that don't even really matter to us in Black media and in Black society. Talk Black to me. Watch this. I've never supported a firing. I never will, Hannity said while talking to Santorum, whom CNN fired recently in the wake of comments he made dismissing the influence of indigenous people on U.S. culture. Hannity said he took a similar position when comedian Bill Maher was called out for his statements he made about the 9/11 terrorists. Now, you all know that Bill Maher is allegedly a liberal, but Bill Maher is an anti-Black racist. The celebrated Bill Maher, that's supposed to be a comedian, is an anti-Black racist. Talk Black to me. There are also some other reports, family, allegedly, somebody say allegedly. There's also some other reports that are out there that there was also a text message sent to Sean Hannity thanking him for helping her keep her job. Now, you all may ask yourself this question: why in the world would Fox News, a prominent Fox News host, do something so publicly like that in order to help Joy Reid? Is it because he's a man of integrity? Is it because he loves Black people for real, for real? Heck no. Why is it that you have not heard Joy Reid make a full-throated statement about Sean Hannity giving misinformation? Why hasn't Joy Reid come out to counter him saying that? Why is it that you haven't seen an NBC or MSNBC executive come out to deny Sean Hannity's claims that he made a phone call, or he publicly came out rather, saying not to fire Joy Reid? You guys, it's in Fox News' best interest to keep a dark-skinned Black woman on another network in order to continue to push an anti-Black agenda over there on their network. Just like it's in Joy Reid's interest, MSNBC's interest, and others to keep her funny-looking self there, again, to give you the impression of controlled opposition. They all benefit at the end of the day. Remember when Reverend Al Sharpton looked like he was revolutionary? until they gave him a job on MSNBC? How many of you all remember when Bill Cosby, I think it was Bill Cosby, said he reached out to Reverend Al Sharpton when he was dealing with these unjust allegations of all these Karens and half Karens libelously accusing him for the most part. And remember, Bill Cosby's spokesperson came out and said they never heard back from Reverend Al Sharpton. How many of you all know that Reverend Al Sharpton worked with the feds and he was considered to be a rat? Can we get some rats in the chat? Can we get some rats in the chat? That may need to be a new shirt, General. Somebody put that down. Message me that, General, rats in the chat with Reverend Al Sharpton's face on it. God, today. So, Reverend Al Sharpton is proven to have been working with the feds. And when he was busted, he tried to give a different impression as to why he was working with the feds. Talking about he was working against the mafia that was messing with the black community. If you don't sit your funny looking self down somewhere, they need to go eat somebody's fried chicken. I know he excited about being vegan or whatever he is now. Some of you vegans need to go eat a bucket of chicken, fried hard chicken, with some fried okra, some cornbread and stuff. Because the moment some of you all lost weight and switched diets, you also lost consciousness. God, today. So the moment they gave Reverend Al Sharpton his little weekend show for the past, how many years? 8, 9, almost 10 years, he's been quiet as a church mouse, as the rat that he is. See, that phrase, church mouse, fits him well. Being a rat and all. Some of you need to stay on fried chicken. Some of you ought not be worried about heart attacks and cholesterol. God, today. Vicky, stop. Y'all know I'm being, this is tongue in cheek. I'm being funny, family. Read through the lines. Funny looking self. You lost consciousness. If you become vegan and you no longer black and revolutionary, you need to go eat. God, today. You need to go back to eat chicken. You need to go back and eat. Something happened. Something's the matter. Some of you didn't know that was out there, that Sean Hannity actually defended Joy Reid. And you all think that every time she talks about Tucker Carlson and Fox News, you guys actually think that she really hates the network. No, they like the appearance of beefing because it helps their ratings. They're trying to remain relevant. And just like I played for you in the beginning of the show, reminding you that Joe Biden said that black folks are partially the doom of America, and the fact that white folks in America, their numbers are dwindling, so they're going to be in the minority. Do you guys get it? A Democrat said that. So now Joy Reid is in Washington Post, which is not a liberal news organ. She's all on these night shows. And allegedly, she's doing all of this stuff to try not to lose her job in a few weeks. And some believe that she's getting help behind the scenes from right-wing news outlets because it's in their best interest to keep a dark-skinned black face on another so-called opposing networks for purposes of ratings, because they appeal to their audiences with racism. This is why I tell you all, they can't stand folks like us, because you can't buy us with a biscuit. We don't mind starting off small. We don't mind using our Apple Macs and iPhones to reach the world. We don't mind being people of integrity. Do you understand? And we never will. I have so much more that I could say to that, but I just wanted to put that out there. We want to let them know that we see the scheme, and I'm bringing this show up because I want us to act accordingly. What do you mean, Vicky? You all know that we've adopted the phrase, we're not taking sides, we're taking over. We're not taking religious sides, family. I don't care what your religion is, Black family. We're not taking political sides. I don't care what political party you affiliate with, Black family. We're taking over, which is to say, whichever white supremacist faction, because they both are, gives the most benefit to Black people, that's who we're going with. We're not tethered to the nicest white supremacists. Just like they're playing both sides, we're playing both sides. I said, God, today, just like they're playing both sides, we're playing both sides. We're not taking sides. We're taking over. That means whichever sides we can get the most benefits for Black people, that's who we're going with. We don't have friends. We only have interests. I said, we don't have friends. We only have interests. Some of you all are used to these types of war moves from different nations and in geopolitics. But I'm trying to get you to understand we need to be adopting these exact tactics in how we move right here in America, Black family. There is no more important war than the war of white supremacy that we've been waging against this beast most intensely for the past 467 years. And by the way, I did this show on African Diaspora News Channel some days ago, and they just uploaded it recently. I did a show over there. Aren't you guys wondering? Are you guys wondering why all of a sudden they're starting to talk about Russia again and Ukraine? Are you guys starting to wonder why all of a sudden they're kind of trying to slip in foreign enemies? Now, all during this pandemic, you ain't heard nothing about Russia or Ukraine. Joe Biden and them are taking a page out of the book of the Republicans. When the Republicans are in trouble, like George Bush, when he screwed up everything, when Donald Trump screwed up everything, what do they start doing? They start talking about war as a distraction. And yes, we have American precedent, proof in America that when a political party gets into trouble, they will literally start to instigate war, and they will actually allow folks to die in a strike in order to change the headline and the topic. Because whenever a political party goes to war, the American people starts to sympathize with whichever party is in power. Bill Clinton did the same thing. But we're not getting off topic. You got me here telling you it's a distraction. What we look like talking about Ukraine, fool? What do I look like? You ripped the phalluses of my fathers. You set on fire the bodies of my mothers. You had my mothers raped, and she had to wet nurse our open enemies' demonic, diabolical children. And you want me to sit up here and chit chat about Russia and Putin and Medvedev? Don't get me to talk about a little bit of my geopolitical knowledge. I was researching Russia about 15 years ago. At one time, I was thinking about having a show with a network from the Ukraine. Don't play with me. Y'all don't play with me like that. You don't want to do that. You don't want me to talk about what I knew about Putin before he stepped aside and had his little protege Medvedev take power for X amount of years just so that they can get enough time to change the laws in their country, which they did, which is what allowed Putin to take office again. Research it. Or how much oil is over there in Russia. And don't get me to playing about Black history and how close they are to the Caucasus. Black family. And what that has to do with soap and water and civilizing a certain group of people, the newest people on our planet. And stuff. Don't play with me. I want you to understand that these are tricks. These are games. And they want you to think a war over there somewhere, which we do not believe is true at all. It's a distraction so that we can start talking about and demonizing Putin. Haven't you ever wondered why the movie's always talking about Russia? It makes a juicy enemy. It gets into the mind of the psyche of the American people. And when the U.S. government invokes them in real time, you make an association, your subconscious makes an association even with the movies, like the movie Salt that Angela Jolie was in. Or even the movie Born Identity. They always over there fooling around with the Russians and stuff. There is no more important war than the war we are waging. There are no real heroes but us. When Joy is sitting her joyless, funny-looking self on MSNBC talking about Putin, she thinks she looks good and powerful because she's quoting 2 or 3 geopolitical talking points. When you can't talk black, when you're not discussing what Vicky's discussing, you ain't talking about nothing at all. Because it is my belief that everything that's the matter in the whole wide world is related directly or indirectly with the mistreatment of the black man and the black woman in America, and by extension around the world. Y'all can talk about climate change all you want, but until you do right by us, even the earth will work against you. Sit down, newness. We're not finna be talking about no Russia and Putin and Ukraine, about no fake war, fool, that you instigating. I said nothing is more important than what we're talking about. That's the reason why I call you the new world rulers. That's why I say I'm raising up world shakers and history makers. And that's the reason why our so-called black brothers and sisters get mad at me when I tell you that you are the new world rulers. They get mad at me when I say that power in this season is coming from the ground up for folks just like you and I, the nobodies they consider to be nobodies, the voiceless. You better tell them again, Mr. Hotel, our planet. I gotta go, family. I love you so much. There's so much more that I could say. We're taking our points. We're taking a page, rather, out of the page of Sean Hannity and Joy Reid and them. We're not taking sides. And there's nothing they can do about it. If you're not cutting the check, we're not voting, because only slaves do something for nothing. And baby, we're no longer slaves. Family, make sure you share this broadcast. Thank you so much. You all know how they tend to shadow ban the Vicky Show really more than most others on this particular network. So we thank you for giving us a big thumbs up, share to every woman that's listening to me, and every black man for that matter. Brothers, you want to make sure that your woman does not miss your fiance, the love of your life, whatever woman that's in your life. You don't want to miss investing in her. For March 13th, Sunday, March 13th, The Secret Money in Your Womb, Part 4. Baby, I'm getting ready to drop some very juicy gems, but it's for grown-ups only, grown women only. I love you, brothers. I said, I love you, brothers, but this one ain't for you. You're going to benefit, brothers, indirectly, and you're going to thank me in about 90 days. Sister, I'm going to have an email coming out after you register to tell you, baby, there's a certain way we girls going to dress for this event and stuff. I already got I already got my goddess uniform, sis. Somebody say, shh. We're the divine feminine. We manifest differently. I said we manifest differently. It's not just about what we do, but it's about what we're being, who we're being. You want to go to onpurposewithvicky.com. The link is in the chat, onpurposewithvicky.com. You can go to purchase store. You'll see webinar options, and you want to get your seat today, onpurposewithvicky.com. Shh, brothers, don't get mad because you can't be there, but you're going to see the manifestation if you don't mess with the magic. Now, if you're going to fund your woman coming, don't be hollering and screaming and talking crazy, bruh. Let her do her magic. Give her a few moon cycles. Just hush. Don't interrupt the stuff. We're trying to bless your life. We're trying to get you some more contracts. We're trying to elevate and amplify, bro, what you already doing. Just don't mess up the magic. Tell him, Valerie. Somebody say, shh. This is the Goddess Secret Society. I can't wait to see you, sis. This is going to be so juicy. I am so excited to share these sacred Goddess principles with you. Your life will never be the same. Go to onpurposewithvicky.com. That's on purpose with VICKI. Get your seat today. I love you back, beloved. I'm your sister with the curly braids. You are my bliss. I bow to you. I can't wait to see you again.